Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Bitcoin Cash. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Now jumping into the daily chart. So we had this horizontal resistance line, the pink one. We broke through it and now we're coming back down to the 20 EMA on the daily chart. As always, we do have the 20 EMA, the 55 EMA, and we do use some oscillators that we'll take a look at a bit later. But you can see overall that we've held this large trend line, this white trend line, multi-month support since June. We've held that nicely, and we're making higher lows and higher, well, we still haven't made a higher high, so our target right now is breaking this high so we can confirm the uptrend, because we're making higher lows. Obviously, you can see that each low has been higher than the previous one. And right now we got the bullish cross on the daily chart where the 20 EMA crosses above the 55 EMA. I did forget. Did I say that I'm not a financial advisor and you should do your own research before investing money into crypto? I do apologize. If I haven't said that, there you go. I'm not a financial advisor. So yeah, and by the way, if you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to check it out. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of your video. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out before watching this one, because I'm not going to be repeating a lot of stuff that I said in the last video. So here, straight off the bat on the daily chart, it does seem like we may potentially have a bear pennant playing out. So a bear pennant is basically a little triangle that we have over here. And what happens is if it occurs after a move towards the downside, that is called a bear pennant, because there's a lot more potential that it will break down rather than break to the upside. And if it's a bull pennant, it's the exact opposite. Basically, it means that after a strong impulsive wave, you get that pennant. So here we have a bear pennant. As you can see, we had this strong red candle, a move towards the downside, and now we're tightening up in this little pennant. And basically, how you measure the breakout targets is you take a trend line from the bottom of the pennant over here all the way to the candle's top, and then you place it where you think the breakout is going to happen. So here, if we had a breakout, it would take us all the way below the pink trend line, below the EMAs, which would be bearish, but I'm just letting you know that that potentially is our target if we have a major Bitcoin pullback. But we did have the taproot activated today, and you know, I don't know. I would expect the 20 EMA to hold, right? I did mention the taproot because I think we might just flip bullish on Bitcoin for a couple of days because of this bullish news, but we'll see. We may actually have a little bit of a dump, and if you see that happening, the 20 EMA would be your best support level to hold, currently sitting at $634.30. And you know, the EMAs do move, so the price is going to be constantly changing. But as you can see, we had a nice breakout over here. If we zoom out a little bit and take a look at the bigger picture right now, and as always, I do have the fib up from the swing high in May to the swing low in July, and you get your 1.618 at the $4,000 mark pretty much. And right now we are sitting below the 0.382. Our mission will be to break through the 0.5, although I think we're gonna have a little rejection from there, because it was a very strong resistance level. As you can see, one bounce over here, one bounce over here from that level, and I do potentially think that we're going to get rejected from that area. So you may have some sell orders ready for Bitcoin Cash at this level, potentially. And when you roll over, you just buy back in at the 20 EMA on the daily chart. Simple as that. But yeah, obviously, we can just melt through these levels. Obviously, next up, we have the golden ratio, which is the most important Fibonacci level out of all. By breaking the golden ratio, you're sort of confirming that you're coming back to the previous swing high, and you know, it's a lot easier from there, right? The golden ratio is the most important level to get through. So yeah, once we do that, we're looking at $1,647 as the previous swing high. Then we have the 1.272 and the 1.414, where I do recommend you start taking profits, but as always, not a financial advisor. So as well, what we're doing right now is we broke out of the pink trend line, and potentially what usually we see happening is a backtest of support. We didn't have a backtest of support over here, so we may actually come back to the pink trend line. So I'm just making you aware of that fact. So that may potentially, you know, be the target that we have out of this bear pennant. So we may not go all the way down to $573, we may end up losing the EMAs, bouncing off the pink trend line and coming back up. This may just happen in a matter of hours with, a couple of wicks to the downside, and that's it, because that's sometimes how it happens with Bitcoin, pullbacks. The whales have their buy orders or whatever, or if they're buying, buying off the exchanges. So yeah, it's just that I always say you need to have your buy orders ready. You need to have your sell orders ready, because the price can get crazy when you're asleep, right? And you wanna be able to take those profits, or buy that dip. Now, jumping into the daily RSI. So I did say that you want to look for this breakout of this trend line. Obviously, we got that breakout, and this was a resistance broken. Nice. And we're coming back down for support. And we as you can see, we're coming back down to this pink trend line. Now, once we peaked out over here, we created another level of resistance. And how do you measure that? Basically is, first of all, you can see that we have a resistance over here. As you can see, we've been hitting this level before. And if you want to get technical about it, you can even do something like this, right? But it's not really, you don't need two similar trend lines, but you can have this white one, obviously, and you see you have a move, a rejection from there in August and a rejection from there in November. We may potentially get rejected from there in the future. We may break above it and backtest it as support. You just want to keep an eye on this trend line. But right now, it's definitely a good time to start dollar cost averaging, and wait for the 20 EMA bounce as well on the daily chart. If we lose this pink trend line on the daily RSI, I would potentially look for this green trend line to hold, because that's something that has held the price multiple times before. So yeah, and this green trend line, this horizontal, I don't think is going to be coming into action anytime soon, so I'm going to remove that. So yeah, you have your white trend line over here. That's your resistance. Now let's jump into Binance for a little more for the oscillators. Now, jumping into the weekly chart, you can see that Bitcoin Cash hasn't even started its strong pump yet. You can see that here in May, we got overextended on the weekly chart. Look at the candles. Look how far the weekly candles are away from the 20 EMA. Those will be your signals that you potentially want to start taking profits. But as you can see, we're now basically sitting at the 20 EMA, and you want to look at taking profits once the candles start getting overextended, obviously. But you all should have your exit strategies planned out already, and all your resistance levels. So the RSI looks very healthy on Bitcoin Cash. As you can see, we're sitting in the middle, no sudden movements, staying neutral right now. The stochastic RSI is in the middle over here. We're going to be waiting for it to get to the upside over here, to the overbought, obviously. So look for that, and let's go to the MACD. And we're just getting the confirmation on MACD, or on the MACD, I should say. The bullish cross confirming the uptrend on the weekly chart over here. So as you can see, we're starting the uptrend on the weekly chart. If we see a pullback, the 20 EMA on the weekly would be a nice level to hold as support, $612. So look for that, and let's jump into the daily chart to check on some oscillators as well. The stochastic has started coming back down, so that's a nice signal that we're kind of resetting our levels a bit. The daily RSI got over here to the overbought. We just checked that out, and sitting at 57. So right now would be a nice place, like I said, to start dollar cost averaging. The MACD has had the bullish cross, getting a bit overextended from the signal line. The signal line is the red line. The yellow line is the moving average, and here these are the histograms. So this is a lagging indicator, obviously. So the price action does something first, then this gives you the confirmation. So this is basically something if you want to use it to make your trades a bit safer, but you basically, if you trade based on these bullish and bearish crosses, you're going to be late to the party. So yeah, you're going to be late to the party by a bit, but you're going to be late to the party, and you're going to miss out on some profits. But if you want to be extra careful, this is the indicator for you. We're getting the bullish cross. We got a bit overextended over here, and we may potentially come back down for an EMA squeeze, or for a bearish cross. You know, if we got a squeeze, it would look something like this. They wouldn't get the cross. Obviously, if we got the cross, that's your confirmation of the downtrend. But we'll see. We're waiting for a huge alt season coming very soon, and we'll see how that plays out. I showed you the daily RSI already. Now, if we jump into here, we did have an ascending triangle over here. We still have our target at 800. I think it was, let's just have the target once again. But I do think it was something like 800 and, yep, that's the target. $847 is our target. As well, we got rejected from the 1.414. If we take this swing high to the swing low, you get your 1.618 at $749. So as you can see, the bearish pennant that we have over here. But what we're doing right now is we're consolidating above this previous swing high over here. So we broke above it, back test of support, perfect. We broke above the ascending triangle, back test of support of the support line of the ascending triangle that was resistance previously. So looking at 1.414 and looking at the 1.618, those will be your two major targets. And after that, obviously, we do have the second fib level and the $847 price tag. I know a lot of you guys are into Bitcoin Cash. It's looking very bullish at the minute. Like I said, we're getting a bit overextended on the 20 EMA. It's getting, you know, as you can see, the gap between the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA is rather large right now. So you want to minimize that gap, and you want the EMAs to catch up. So basically the 55 has to catch up to the 20. For that, the price has to come back down to the 20 EMA. But if we start going parabolically, obviously, then once you come back down for support, you're probably going to lose the EMAs. So that is pretty much it. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. You have your long-term targets, you have your short-term targets. So yeah, if you are entering Bitcoin Cash for quick little trades, then I would wait for the 20 EMA, bounce off the 20 EMA, you get into that and you sell either at the 1.618 or you wait for the second fib level or for the target out of the ascending triangle, basically. But hopefully the EMA can get out of the ascending triangle by the time the price action decides to bounce off of the EMA, because we don't want to come back into the pattern. Obviously, we broke out of this ascending triangle and we want to stay out of it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. If you spotted anything on the charts that I missed out, let me know down below in the comment section. Check me out on Twitter, Telegram. We do have a Discord server with a lot of great TA going on in there. So make sure to join the Discord server and request technical analysis charting. Either I or the moderator will answer you as soon as possible. And do check out the HaZeeq Crypto Club down below in the comments, in the description, I do apologize, where you will find different tiers for monthly subscriptions that will give you exclusive content. Great stuff, guys. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.